So BigBear.AI was up around 3.5% last week. It's up almost 10% on the month, and it's up 35% in the last 3 months. So this stock is looking bullish. It's trending upwards and could be setting up for a high potential trade in the future. So in this video, I'm going to look at the price action for BigBear over the last few weeks and discuss some possible rules for entry for a trade on this top AI stock. Let's take a look. Now, if you find value in my analysis of BigBear today or other stocks on my channel, you may also find value in my email newsletter. If you sign up, I'll share with you trading tips to help you increase your profits trading stocks. I'll leave a link in the description below. Check it out. So looking at the weekly chart for BigBear.AI stock, this stock is moving up. It's trending up nicely. It's looking very bullish. You can see long term, since that significant low back in December 2022 at around 57 cents, the stock is moving up, creating higher lows and higher highs. And you can see I've put on a long-term momentum / trend line since that significant low, taking in that low there and also considering this low created in August 2024. So it does look as if it's creating higher bases as it moves up. And more recently, since this low in August 2024, the trend does seem to be accelerating, with price action moving away from this longer term trend line and now moving up, creating a more accelerated trend line, considering this trough here and this most recent trough here. So BigBear is looking good. It does look as if it's trying to move up higher. Now, since this significant peak of 10.30 in February 2025, BigBear has pulled back. It has dropped into support around about this key level here, 235, and it does correspond with the medium-term trend line. It's looking good. It does look as if it wants to move higher, and since hitting that level here of 230, it's trying to move higher, creating this peak here about 3 weeks ago of 460. In the last 2 weeks it has pulled back, but it does look as if it wants to move higher and might challenge this peak here in the next few weeks, and that could trigger an entry for a trade on this stock. So let's mark up some key price levels for BigBear to give us some idea of support and resistance and price targets for this stock. So first up, we've got the all-time high for BigBear, around about $16, corresponding to this peak back in April 2022. Underneath that is the most recent price peak created February this year. It's about $10.30, so let's mark that peak up. That will probably be our price target for a future trade. Now, underneath 10.30, we've also got a price peak back here, February 2023, so a few years ago now, and that's around 672, so let's mark that up. Under that level of 670, we've also got a peak here corresponding for March 2024, and you can also see it came close here and also pulled back here as well. So there seems to be some resistance around this level here. So I'm going to mark up 482. Underneath 482, I can also see a potential level of resistance, which is corresponding to this most recent peak here, which is around about 460. So I'll mark that one up there. Underneath that level, I want to mark up this most recent price trough of $2.35, which was created in April this year. And you can see that that price level of support does correspond with this medium-term trend line. So it looks as if it could be a key level. So now that we've got these key price levels for BigBear on the chart, we can see the current price action is trading at around $4. It's above 235, it's under 460. So it's in this zone here, and it is trading above this medium-term trend line. So it is still trending upwards. Now, coming down to the daily chart for BigBear, I have noticed there is a possible short-term resistance and support level around about 360. So you can see price here, when it dropped down, came back up to here as well. And more recently, you can see over the last 2 weeks that Big Bear, since that peak, there has been some selling pressure, but it hasn't been strong enough to push Big Bear down and break this level here, which seems to be a support level of 363. So I want to mark that up. And you can see I've made that line dashed just to confirm that level of support and resistance is on the daily, not the weekly. So it's not going to be as strong as a level on this weekly chart. But nonetheless, we must have a look at that and see how price responds when it gets close. If I zoom in, right now, you can see that on a few occasions in the last few weeks, Big Bear has traded down and found support at that level. So it'll be interesting to see over the next few weeks whether this level holds up. So for a potential entry for Big Bear, where could you enter on confirmation? Based on Dow theory, I can see there's an entry here above this price peak of 460. Essentially, we want price to move up to create a new peak, pull back to create a higher low, and then move up once again, showing the buyers are in control and they're committed, and then for price to take out this peak here, rising above the level of 460 to give you confirmation that the price is moving higher and the buyers are in control. So therefore, an entry for Big Bear on confirmation using Dow theory would be at 460, and you can see I've marked that with this orange line. So if price can trade above this level in the next few weeks, you could take an entry on Big Bear for a trade. And if you did enter there, what sort of upside is there available for Big Bear over the short to medium term? So entry at 460 would give you an initial price target of around 660 to this level here, which would be around a 45% upside. And you could set your stop loss at this short-term support level of 360, which is -20. So 20% to the downside and 45% to the upside will give you a risk to reward ratio of 2.19. And the next target could be this next level up here of 1030, which would be 123% upside and give you a risk to reward ratio of over 6, which is great. And if we zoom out a bit and consider the all-time high for Big Bear back here of around $16, created back in April 2022, there is a chance that Big Bear might trade all the way up and challenge the all-time high in the next 6 months. So that would give you a potential upside of 250%. So in terms of a short-term price target in the next 3 months, if price can break through this level here, then there's a chance that price can trade up in the next 3 months up to $6. And it might take maybe 6 to 12 months to get up to these levels here of $10 to $16. So that's the bullish scenario for Big Bear. But what about the bearish case? What happens if price falls away? Where could it fall to and find support? So for my bear case for Big Bear, price might find resistance exactly where it is here, this peak of 460. It might fall away and find support short term at 360. It might challenge once again, but get rejected again, and then fall back down to potentially find support at the trend line. It could do that. That's one scenario. And that might be around about $3. Now, if that trend line support is broken, then the likelihood is that Big Bear will trade down and look for support at this key level of 236. So these are two scenarios for Big Bear. Either it falls and finds support here and then moves back up and challenges 460 once again, or it falls back into 230 before perhaps moving back up from this point to make another leg up. And the most bearish scenario would be that Big Bear continues to fall through this level here, the trend line, and this level here, 230, and perhaps falls all the way back down towards $1.80 to $2, which would correspond to this longer term trend line, which you can see I've marked up on screen here. So that is a possibility, and that would be a more bearish scenario. It is possible. Trends do conform to the longer, stronger trend. The long-term trend at the moment, is this long-term line here. The trend we've got right now on this line is a short to medium-term trend. It has accelerated away, so it could pull back. We just don't know. We have to wait for confirmation on the charts to give us that bias and confirmation of which way it's going to go. So right now, if you're considering investing or trading Big Bear, it's a good idea to wait for confirmation to see where price is going to move to. I think for an entry for a trade, you've got this marker of 460 to confirm price is going to move up. However, as I said, it might fall away and find support at the trend line. And depending on your rules, you could buy at support with the assumption that price effectively is going to do this. It's going to move up here, it's going to find support at the trend line, and then move off from here and start trending up following this medium-term trend line. That's a possibility. But we have to wait for the bars to confirm. So this week will be interesting. At the moment, this week is just a few days trading. We've got 3 more to go. So Big Bear might move up and challenge this week, or it might stay where it is and track sideways. We have to wait for confirmation to get an entry on this stock. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you bullish or bearish on Big Bear? What are your trading rules? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.